Hello again. This video is to answer a question that I got a couple of days ago that was, what fruits and vegetables should I eat to help with hair growth? So I just wanted to start off by saying I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, so I'm not going to talk about this topic from the standpoint of this is a recommendation of like what you should do for your life, right? I wouldn't know that. That's not something that I would know. This video is to help you to think about what is happening when you even ask the question, what should I eat? There's a way to think about it so that you can get the results that you're going after, So I want to talk about it from that standpoint. And I don't know if this is going to be long, but I wrote down some points, some notes. And so I'm just going to go, piece by piece and try to answer the question as best I can. And then, of course, there will be things that I don't cover in this video that I just haven't thought about, So if any questions come up while you're watching or while you're listening, then feel free to put them into the comment section as well, so that we can answer those questions also, and I can kind of give like follow-up information as well for everyone who's interested in this topic. So hair growth is a body process. It is the result of several things that are happening together inside of your body that in combination results as hair growth, right? So with it being a body process, whenever we think about food, we're trying to fuel that body process and give the body all of the building blocks that it needs to be able to express healthy hair growth. So the body is not going to create hair just out of nothing. It will just wait until it has all the things that it needs to create new hair. So the same thing with nails, the same thing with like your skin. It's the body is just going to wait until it has everything that it needs, and then it's going to start creating new cells and do that. That's not the same with every single body process. Some body processes are vital, and so the body will prioritize them. So hair growth, nail growth, those are not high up on the list of priorities, and therefore it's like they're not high up on the list, and so therefore if things are going well, it's an excellent indication. Like you can look at your hair, you can look at your skin, and you can know like how well the body is processing other things. If that is going well, then you know that other things are also in order, and so it's just a good indication. Whenever you think about the foods that you're going to eat, it comes in two categories. So there's foods that will build strong blood, blood that will cleanse the body, blood that will bring the nutrients to the cells correctly, blood that will transport correctly, that flows. There are foods that will build that blood, and that blood builds the rest of the entire body. And then there are foods that are obstructions, right? So they basically get in the way, or they block the flow of the blood circulating and getting to your entire body. So the foods that build are going to be fruits and vegetables, and specifically vegetables that are green leafy vegetables. So these foods, they have vitamins, they have minerals, and they have amino acids, and they have fiber in the correct proportions that the body can easily just grab all of those different components and use it as the basic building blocks to create all the cells in your body, all the tissues in your body, to have all of the processes to work correctly and in order, so that it just fuels the body to do what it already wants to do. One thing to keep in mind is that your body is always working like 110% in your favor. Anything that you give it, it will try its best to find some type of value from that and place it somewhere in the body to be used, and it will try its best to eliminate all waste. That's like the number one goal that the body is doing. It's just like, how can we receive benefit from whatever this is and use it to benefit this person. So if you think about like your body is just like your number one cheerleader, it's just, you give it an apple, it's going to be like, yes, we're going to take this apple and we're going to do the best thing we can with it. So the fruits and vegetables that you're going to be thinking about are all high water content foods. And I don't want you to think in a limiting way about like, these specific foods on a list, or, like fruits to avoid or anything like that. I want you to think about getting a variety of different types of fiber, and you can look these up and kind of like research and try different recipes and all of those things. But anything that are fruits and vegetables and green leafy vegetables and herbs, fresh herbs, all of those things, they're going to be beneficial for your hair growth. There is no good or bad as far as like whenever you're choosing what foods to eat. Like I said, the body, it will do its best. Like it will do its best with whatever it is that you give it. It's just that there are some things that it can use easier and some things that will be more difficult for it to use. And if you give it an abundance of things that are difficult for it to use, it will have to spend so much time to get the same value from one thing or from another, So that's where it's like digestion is very, very important. And just understanding, it's like, what is the baseline of all of these things? So fruits and vegetables are on one side, like processed and like man-made products are on the other side. So it's not that you will eat only one and never eat the other. It's the proportions, right? So if you're eating 10% of fruits and vegetables, you're going to get a completely different result than if you were eating 70% of fruits and vegetables, right? If you were eating, 20% of, all of the obstructions, which would be meat, dairy, sugar. If your diet consists of 20% of all of these things, you're going to get a drastically different result in your entire health overall, and especially hair growth, So we think about it as functional or non-functional, not good or bad, not, I will swear to never take this ever again. It's your choice. And I want to give this message so that, to encourage whoever needs to hear this encouragement, that your choice is valid and it will give you results, and you get to choose what results that you want to get. So some other things to think about is the body is electrical. So just like a light switch, either it's turned on or it's turned off. And so it's like the flow of electricity is either being allowed to flow or it's being stopped, So that's why we're talking about it in the thought process of fruits and vegetables, which aid in the flow of all of the processes of the body. They help all of the processes to flow. Or we're talking about obstructions, which put a block. They might not completely shut off the flow, but they decrease the flow and they stop the flow from being optimal. Why are we eating fruits and vegetables? So fruits and vegetables have vitamins, and vitamins fuel body processes. So if you get them from fruits and vegetables, they don't come isolated, they come perfectly packaged. So minerals aid in balance for the body. the cells are always trying to be in homeostasis, and homeostasis is just like a perfect environment, a perfect condition. So it's like they have the right amount of liquid surrounding them, they're at the perfect temperature, you know, all of these things to create like an ideal environment. They're regulated, and so minerals help to that regulation to take place. So these would be all the cells all throughout your body, including the hair follicles that are going to grow your hair. So we also have amino acids. Amino acids are the building blocks for protein. So your body, like your hair and your nails, all that is protein. It's made up of proteins. So your body needs amino acids in order to create the proteins that then become hairs. And lastly, the fruits and vegetables, they're gonna have fiber. And the fiber is also coming with the water content. Fiber helps to clean out your system. And so as the body takes in these minerals and the vitamins and the amino acids, it then processes them. It sends them to where they need to go, and all of those things that are happening in your body to then create the hair, it all creates waste. So as you're digesting and going through, all of that creates like some type of waste. And so the fiber goes through just like a broom, and it clears out all the waste. So it clears it out from the cells, it clears it out from your veins, from your arteries, it clears it out from your lymphatic system, and then it clears it out from your colon and your digestive system. So if you don't have fiber and you're constipated, or you're not properly eliminating, and you're having like large amounts of obstructive food, then your hair is not going to grow properly, because it literally has nothing to work with. It just has like, it's like all the energy that would be, and all the cells that would normally be creating hair, they're trying to take care of toxic waste. And so fiber helps to clear all of that, and again, like keep the body in homeostasis. So it's a perfect system. Like your body really is, it's perfectly designed to do exactly what it's supposed to do. And the only thing that stops it from getting a perfect result every single time is obstructions. And so your body is just going to keep trying every single day. Every single day that you wake up and you open your eyes, it's going to be like, yes, another chance to see if we can get it right. And whatever you feed it, it's just going to be like, yes, we will do our best, you know? So you can help your body to do all of these processes with the information that I'm giving you. So now you have a choice on whether or not you're going to go along with your body, or whether or not you're going to be another obstruction that it has to overcome in order to give you the result that nature designed it to give you. So we're back to talking about obstructions, the other side of what you could possibly feed your body to fuel it. Obstructions as just like distractions, right? So all of these obstructions, it's not like you eat something and then your body just uses whatever it can and then eliminates it, right? Obstructions actually give a secondary result. And so it's like two things happening at once, and then some of your cells has to do the normal process that would have happened, and then some of your cells have to work with the secondary problem that the obstruction created. And so now we're going to talk about that. So just think about it as like a distraction, something that is dividing the power that you intended to give your body by taking in whatever food. All right, so meat is the very first obstruction, and sometimes people don't like to hear this when I say this, because they think that I'm trying to turn them vegetarian or vegan, and I'm absolutely not. I promise I am not trying to turn you vegetarian or vegan, but I want you to have a choice. I want you to have an option to get to the goal that you're looking for. So why is meat an obstruction? It is not because you're killing animals. It is not because of any of those things. It is because meat takes too long to process through the body. And so the body has to break it down, it has to process it, it has to dissolve it, and it has to extract some value from the meat that you've just eaten. So by the time that it does that, it's been like hours, it's been days, you know. So that meat substance sits in the body for that long until it's able to be eliminated, and it rots in that amount of time. And so the rotting meat then leaves a residue, right? And then that residue becomes toxic. It creates a second set of problems. It starts to give off toxins. And so if you're going to eat meat, then that it can be eliminated. So you can't eat large amounts of it because it takes time for it to, and then your body is only focusing on digesting that. It will not be growing your hair, right? So the next one is dairy. Dairy creates an acidic environment inside of the body, and so the body has to use minerals in order to neutralize the acid and then turn it back to homeostasis. So instead of the body just remaining alkaline and using those minerals for growing your hair, it has to use those minerals to neutralize, and then if anything is left over, then it will grow your hair. The second thing about dairy is that it leaves like a mucus residue in the body as well. And so that one is another one that the body has to use processes in order to clean it. It has to use energy and effort to move that, mucus out of the way so that everything else can actually happen, so that your blood can flow correctly, so that the cells can actually function properly. It's like there's just this sticky residue that shouldn't be there anyway, and so the body has to take time to move it away and then try to have those processes actually work correctly. And then what happens if you eat too much of this is that it just accumulates over time, it builds up over time, and then now your body is still doing its best to clear those things away. And then it's almost like the inside of your body becomes like a hoarder house, where it's like instead of just walking, into the front door, it's like you have to step over all of these extra things and do all of these things. And now, your body's expressing situations that shouldn't be there to begin with, but it's just because it has this slimy residue that it never gets cleaned because it's constantly being replenished. So the trash and the residue is constantly being replenished by what you're eating and what is sticking to what you're eating. And it gets a larger and larger problem over time. So that's why I was saying before that it's the proportions that you eat, and not necessarily saying I will never eat this one thing ever again. You can make that choice if you want to, but either way, you should know what your body is doing. So processed sugar is another one. Processed sugar causes inflammation, right? And that is why it's an obstruction in the body. Processed sugar has to be rehydrated, like it has to be, since it's crystallized, right? It's concentrated, and so the body needs to take water, right? That would normally be in your skin, it would be in your hair, it would be in your brain. All of this water should be, perfectly distributed, but it has to use the water that should be there to then dilute the sugar. And then once the sugar is diluted, then it can, flow and try to extract some value from this sugar. And so then that makes the body acidic, and then it causes inflammation. So again, proportions. Imagine if there is so much of the sugar present that the body has to use all of its efforts, all of its resources to deal with this this processed sugar problem, that it normally would use to do other things. So the last one is white flour and starch. Again, same kind of a problem. It leaves a residue, and that residue is like a glue-like paste. So if you also mix that with the meat that is now in your system as well. If you mix those two together, now um, it's a rotting substance that's held in place by a sticky glue, and then that just builds up and creates it creates a residue all throughout your body, all throughout your cells. It coats your lungs. It, gets trapped in the heart and the arteries. It gets trapped in your brain. Um, all of these things, it's just like a sticky residue. And then the other thing is it has to also be rehydrated. So it's taking water from other places in your body where it would be, doing its thing, being amazing, and it has to use it to rehydrate these white flours and starches. And then once it's rehydrated, then it can be used for something beneficial. And then the benefits that you get after your body goes through all of this to break it down are so minimal compared to if you just ate fruits and vegetables, or if you started with fruits and vegetables, gave it what it needs, and then had minimal starches and minimal white flour products. So with all of these obstructions, your body wants to be growing healthy hair. It wants to be expressing healthy skin, growing healthy nails, but it's constantly being like thrown off course and distracted and diverted to take care of these man-made substances that don't, it's like they don't give back what they take. It's like the amount of value that you get from them is so much smaller than it's like they're more trouble than they're worth. That's what I want to say. They're more trouble than they're worth. We can take stock of what is actually happening, So think about what you eat on a regular basis. If you're wanting to have your hair to grow better, if you're wanting to be healthier overall, to just have better quality of hair as well. So if you want to eliminate dryness, if you want to have your scalp be in better health, just to evaluate what it is that you're eating instead of saying, I need to do this one thing or that one thing. What is happening overall, right? And if when you look at what's happening overall, you have 50% foods that are obstructions and then 50% of foods that are fruits and vegetables, then now you know where you are, right? And you can connect that to what you're seeing with your hair growth. One thing I didn't mention that I just now thought about is that hair grows, like the normal rate of how fast your hair is going to grow is going to be about a fourth of an inch to half an inch per month. So if your hair is growing within that range, then like nothing's really going wrong. Sometimes people will say like, how do I get my hair to grow? But what they really mean is, how do I get my hair to grow faster, right? And the best way to get your hair to grow faster, or the best way to get your hair to grow in general is just to give it all the building blocks that it needs to be able to do what it needs to do, right? So how fast your hair is going to grow is kind of like predetermined, it's just part of your makeup. It's part of your DNA. So some people's hair will grow, half an inch every single month. Some people's hair will grow a fourth of an inch every single month, and it's healthy for both cases. There are some people's hair that grows like an inch per month, and it's just like, if it's growing an inch per month, then that's like specific to you, and it's extremely fast hair growth. So if your hair is growing a fourth of an inch, that doesn't mean that something is wrong. So once you've evaluated what is actually happening, like how you're eating right now, then you can make a plan to eat more fruits and vegetables, specifically green leafy vegetables. So when I say make a plan, there are a lot of different ways that you can do it, right? You can do salads, you can do green smoothies. All of those are going to be ways to incorporate fresh, fruits and vegetables and herbs. And then you can also include like, cooked fruits and vegetables as well. But the main thing when I say like making a plan is, where are you going to place that in your diet, your eating schedule for the day, right? So like, let's say that you wanted to have a green smoothie in the morning. You don't have to change anything else about your diet to see whether or not that is going to give you a positive result. Several years ago, it might be like 10 years ago now, I did like a green smoothie challenge, and that was like every single day I would drink like a mason jar, like I don't know, I think it's like 16 ounces, but it was a mason jar full of a green smoothie every single day for 30 days. And I didn't change anything else about my diet. And I saw like a lot of different kind of things just like change, almost like in a like a domino effect, just positive changes. And it just shows that whenever you add these things back, and then the body is just like, oh, relief, we can use this, we can do something with it, right? So you can do green smoothies, you can do salads, you can add more cooked vegetables, you can do cooked fruits, which are great for if you're constipated and you need like help with elimination, right? If anyone is interested, like, I love this topic. So if anyone is interested in like specific recipes, or like, how to like plan your day as far as like an eating schedule, like all of those things, I can give like suggestions, like ideas to kind of like start with and play around with. But just to remember, I am not a doctor, I am not a nutritionist, so you would have to compare whatever it is that I'm saying and incorporate it with whatever other things that you need to take into consideration. So if you have allergies, if you have certain medications that you're taking, any of those things, you can take them into consideration, but also I can just give you ideas of like, these are other things. So the three things that we are going to do: we're going to evaluate, we're going to make a plan to incorporate more fruits and vegetables, and then we're going to adjust. So the adjustment is extremely important. It's extremely important. Adjusting to getting more fruits and vegetables, more vitamins and minerals. It's going to feel like so different to you if you haven't already been experiencing what it feels like to have these things inside of your body, right? Just the process of like, going from being constipated to now having regular bowel movements, that is going to feel completely different. The process of going from being dehydrated to now being hydrated, like, you're going to feel like so different. So you have to give your body time to adjust, and you have to give your mind time to adjust. Don't just go 110% in one direction or another. Transition slowly from, let's say that you were at 70% obstructions. Give yourself time to get to 50%. Give yourself time to get to 30%. Give yourself time so that your body can do what it needs to do to clear out everything that was blocking it before from having healthy hair growth. So in my opinion, that is what you need to know about eating more fruits and vegetables for healthy hair growth. And I hope this video was helpful. I hope the message was received well, and I hope that we can continue this conversation as well, because I wish y'all just like so much health and thriving, and to like experience the other side of whatever it is that you're going through, or whatever the concerns that you have. I want you to experience the other side of it, what happens when you reach your goal. So that is all. Thank you for watching.